So my video on Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared 6 has been blowing up, and I can't thank you enough for that. Record amount of views, record amount of everything. You guys are awesome. My overall conclusion was a positive one with a bit of negative in it too. The puppets adopting their favourite colours at the very end of the episode indicated to me that it was a generation coming to their own, a generation that would no longer stand for the manipulation and brainwashing of the media from the past. The notepad appearing at the end to me represented a warning that this new generation wasn't totally free from manipulation and brainwashing, that this easily could happen again, such as it did in the past. Why did I come to this conclusion? Because it's still happening today, as many of you pointed out. A recent example of this that the YouTube community seems to be pretty torn on are the new regulations, guidelines, terms and conditions of YouTube that were just announced. And we all know that when YouTube makes a change, we all love it, so let's get into it. We want you to use YouTube without fear of being subjected to malicious harassment. In cases where harassment crosses the line into a malicious attack, it can be reported and the content will be removed. In other cases, users may be mildly annoying or petty and should simply be ignored. Seems fair enough, nobody wants to get doxxed or swatted or killed, so yeah, there definitely should be a line. Care to clarify where this line is? Harassment may include abusive videos, comments and messages, revealing someone's personal information, maliciously recording somebody without their consent, deliberately posting content in order to humiliate someone, making hurtful and negative comments or videos about another person, unwanted sexualization, which encompasses sexual harassment or sexual bullying in any form. Okay, that's vague and scary. So it seems as though YouTube is giving themselves the power to potentially get rid of channels like Filthy Frank or Rice Gum based on these very loose and non-specific statements. If YouTube is trying to enforce their own terms and conditions on their users of their website, which they definitely have the right to do, which they should do, then they need to know what those rules are. Because these rules seem to give them carte blanche to be able to judge whoever they feel is offensive or is not offensive without actually informing the people of what will be tolerated and what will not. And it seems like the exact wording that the regressive left would use in order to justify censoring people like, I don't know, Blair White, Bering, Milo Yiannopoulos, just to name a few favorites. My guilty pleasure on YouTube are cringe compilations.
Kappa. This is cringy.
Go ahead, judge me. I also enjoy Rice Gum's content. He's a rising YouTube star at the moment. He's blown up. I think he's quite a funny guy. He makes me laugh. Now, do I agree on an ethical standpoint that he should be making fun of children? I personally wouldn't. But should he be censored for criticizing or making fun of other people that use social media? A platform that was originally designed for open discussion? No, of course not. But it seems to be a trend that people are being censored more and more on the internet, and it's terrifying. According to an inside source within Twitter, there is manipulation of trending topics and hashtags, there's shadow banning of accounts. According to this person, they have a list of whitelisted favored Twitter accounts and a list of blacklisted unfavored Twitter accounts, and even without this information, it's quite obvious that this is happening. Now, whether or not you like Milo Yiannopoulos, he is a great example of this, and he had a really great interview with Dave Rubin a while back, and I'll be linking it down below because I'll be referring to it right now. Twitter holds a monopoly over its public square, as he put it. Arguably, there are other social networks out there, but Twitter is unique, and it's one of the biggest and most influential out there. Hell, politicians are using it to burn each other. Yeah, you got burned! Why would you say that? So to impose censorship and pick out the people you like and the people you don't like, and to manipulate trends and hashtags on a free and open social network platform, well, that would be fascist. Now, Twitter has the right to do this. You know, it's their network, it's their platform. They can pick what they want or they don't want. I mean, you wouldn't go to Christian Mingle to find the perfect Muslim wife, but they should be open about this. If you are going to manipulate things, as Milo put it, they have a weird notion of freedom of speech. You're allowed, unless you're conservative and you make a joke that's too edgy, then we're going to squash that and prevent people from saying that, because that's not how we view the world, that's not how we want you to see the world. I'm sorry, but freedom of speech means recognizing and acknowledging everyone's point of view. And yes, even the Nazis' point of view should be at least acknowledged. Everyone's opinion matters, and I fucking hate people who say that some opinions don't deserve to be acknowledged or even heard. Everything deserves to be taken into account. Everything deserves to be acknowledged. If you don't acknowledge the very worst of humanity, then how do you know what the best is? Closing our eyes and blocking our ears and yelling "triggered" isn't going to help anyone. The point is, people like Milo Yiannopoulos or anybody who has a different opinion to you that you might find offensive, they're not doing you any harm. They're words. Words are words. And I 100% agree that words make you stronger in the long run. When I was 8 years old, I moved to France from England. My whole world was turned upside down. Of course, when I got there, I was bullied for being different. I didn't speak the language. I was pale. I wore sun cream all the time, 24/7, because I die without it. Soon after that, I gained some weight. I was never obese. I was never huge, but I was fat enough to be made fun of. So eventually, of being socially awkward, and my outlet was the internet. Actually, those were my first real social interactions, at least as a teenager anyway. Soon after that, I was like, you know what, I'm going to start running, lose the weight, and after that, I started being more social. I improved myself. I went up against criticism and people who, you know, and I'm not saying I experienced any really harsh or bad things in my life. I mean, I wasn't persecuted, you know, as people would have been for being homosexual back in the 40s or something to that degree, but I definitely encountered people calling me names, and I got over it and I bettered myself. Recently, I put a bit more weight on, so I'm feeling a bit ashamed. I'm gonna fix it. It's that feeling bad about myself that's caused me to fix it. You can live in a perfect, raindrop, beautiful world all you want, but that solves nothing. Bad and evil, you need both of them. You need the bad for the good. You need the bad so that you can improve yourself and become a better human being. And that is why freedom of speech and anonymity online is so important. As I've said before, the internet is our greatest accomplishment yet because we are allowed to express our opinions and share ideas with no fear of repercussion. Of course, we should draw a line. Of course, people who tweet about blowing up the Eiffel Tower, of course those people should be investigated. But more and more companies and governments are trying to censor everyday people who have different opinions. I can't imagine why big corporations and governments would want to censor people under the guise of equality and preventing bullying. The internet is a huge global platform. It houses every opinion and different type of person under the sun. And I'm going to be horribly self-indulgent and quote myself here, but thicken up your skin or don't expose it. Long story short, don't let them censor your only truly free medium for expression. My name is Vinny, thank you so much for watching. So hot in here, so hot. Again, thank you so much for watching that video, guys. The support on this channel has been insane at the moment. And now I do realize these terms and conditions, etc. will not necessarily be used in a very negative way. They might not be used to promote censorship, and they're most likely a response from the recent shootings and the recent political climate. I do realize that, but I feel like it's important to point this kind of stuff out and to do what we do best as a community and try and fix things that are obviously wrong. So yeah, thanks for watching. Twitter, Patreon, all that crap. Bye.